Hello, union sisters and brothers. Bob Waterhouse again. I'm going to talk briefly about a position that I created and added to the executive board. It is one of the offices up for election right now for the first time in our local's history. Director of Legislation and Political Action. We are one of the few entities, meaning the Postal Service, that is established and maintained by the U.S. Constitution. So, naturally, legislation and law have a significance to us more than other places of employment. I was the legislative director in my previous local for 6 years. The first committee I served on was to oppose the proposed closing of about 8 post offices. I visited the State House and made the rounds with every senator and representative we had, and also stood before both the Boston City Council and the Cambridge City Council to garner support from our politicians to oppose the closing of these offices. When all was said and done, we saved all but one office. It was then that I saw the political support can be used to get results. So when I got to San Diego, I asked who our legislative director was, and we didn't have one. I got to work writing up a job description for a position I felt should be on the executive board. This position would be in charge of acquiring and maintaining a database of who all of our politicians are in the area that represent any post offices in our jurisdiction. They don't need to be in contact with them necessarily, but in case we need to reach out to them, this director will have their location and contact information ready to go. This director will raise political money through COPA, which is just about every union has to fight for our rights as postal workers in the labor force. This person would serve on the executive board and be held to a high standard. They would be in touch with the national legislative director and report back on any legislation that would be of interest to postal workers at e-board meetings and membership meetings. They would suggest calling politicians if needed, and also be a likely delegate to the San Diego and Imperial County Labor Council to keep relations with other unions. This is an important position, and I felt the need to establish this role to better protect our interests. This is a contribution I made as your sitting vice president. I created this and I added it to our Constitution. I'm supporting Jose Servin to be elected as our first e-board legislative director. He is one of the regulators and was one of the first e-board members I approached in the beginning, as I saw that his passion to fight for what was right on behalf of our members was genuine. Thank you for your time.